Tell us what you got going on.
Hey, well, first, thanks for inviting me. I missed you guys this year. I think I fished you. I was trying to think for 2 or 3 years now, that group. And of course, I think y'all made the right decision not coming down in April. We pretty much shut down when we started getting cancellations. We started getting calls from from people we didn't know, and we just didn't want to try to sort through that. So we shut down April and part of May, but we came back really hard in May, June, and July, and I think we figured out we had lost $18,000 to $20,000 in charters and cancellations, but we still came out ahead of where we were last year. So that's how big the demand was, and we fished a lot and had a good time. But thanks for inviting me. I wanted to kind of just recap our last year a little bit. What we did after April and May, we were just going at it hard. We fished tarpon a little harder each year. We try to fish tarpon a little harder. Our volume grew so much that I had to hire my daughter-in-law, Hannah, and her job is mainly booking, and she refers people to other captains when they can't, when we can't accommodate them. And I think we gave away close to 50 trips this year that we just could not accommodate. This is our 4th year. We've just grown, and that's thanks to a lot of people giving us reviews and word of mouth. We don't advertise at all. I initially started this thing just wanting to fish 2 days a week after my retirement. I guess some of y'all know I worked for Fish and Wildlife for 28 years, and it's grown to, at times 13 days. I pretty much this year, for the first time, with the exception of one day, I didn't fish any Sundays. That's the first time I've done that. But we had a great year, and man, the fishing was good. And so going into this year, we hired our first employee. What we're doing now, I fish today, I fish tomorrow and the next day. And then I've got some boat repairs. And then I'm working with some other captains that are going to be helping us next year. And we're going to get on the boat with every captain that we do referrals to, and just kind of look at their setup and be prepared to tell people that call us that we can't book, and try and place them with somebody. And Hannah's job is that newsletter, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. And her job also is to help a client with accommodations, questions, anything. But we're real busy with that. We changed our boat. We run a big bay, and that's on our website, and I'll give you that information. I provided that to Logan as well. It's a difficult boat. Did they quit making that boat? It's a difficult boat to find. We love that boat. In fact, we talk about adding another boat. That's one of the boats that's high on our list because it's just been a great boat. We changed it a little bit. We added a iPilot to the front of the boat. I was very resistant about that. I was old school about it, and I thought I'd forget how to anchor, and now I'm hoping that I forget how to anchor. I don't know what I'd do without the iPilot. One thing it does is it allows us to make subtle adjustments when we chum fish, or make subtle adjustments when we're sight fishing fish. It also allows me to spend more time with the client during the process, whether it's instructing, just sharing, just having a good time. And I don't have to worry so much about us coming off a number or coming off a buoy or coming off a spot. So we added that. We're looking at what we talked to Quality T-Tops in Tarpon Springs. I took a boat down there, and we're looking at adding a casting platform on the very front of our boat. My main reason is when we sight fish tarpon, or when we're sight fishing, a lot of times our boat has plenty of room if you fished it. But I like older clients. I like to be able to accommodate them. We're very comfortable, right? There's a lot of skiffs out there that are smaller. I wanted to make a client comfortable on the front of that boat where he can sit and still see without coming off the bow. So, that's something we're going to be adding this year. Another thing is my son, some of you know he has a podcast, and I'll bring that up. But he built a skiff this year with Harry Spears. And Harry Spears is a very famous guide from down in Tarpon Springs and a friend of ours. So they built a Spears Everglades together. Actually, Hunter mix the resin, went through the whole process, and they documented that. But we're going to be bringing that boat online for kind of a one-on-one client experience, fishing skinny water. And we're going to be bringing that on this year. We had a real hard time getting the motor, but the motor's in now and being shipped up to us. We had to buy it through the Keys. And that was just quite a process. Anything now, boat, motor-wise, part-wise, fishing-wise, they are back ordered, and everything is very difficult to get. Man, so going into this year, we've already booked more days than we have in our previous 4 years, and our schedule wise. And there are things that I kind of want to focus on individually, and kind of tune in and really spend some time with some clients doing some specialty stuff. So we needed to deal with all this overflow. And one of the things about overflow is we can look at captains in our area and we know them and we can make a recommendation. But we have been for several years praying about, my shelf life and who could help me. We brought other captains on our boat, looking at captains that might be able to run our boat at times. And we just had not felt comfortable yet with that. Well, this year, I have guided a captain for 4 years now that's out of South Florida, and his name is Mark Spencer. And we're going to be bringing Mark up in May and June and fishing. He'll be up here next week with me for a week. He'll be back up here in April with me. He's fished with me for 4 years. We've gone down and fished with him. So we're going to bring him up, and he's going to help us some. Booking wise, Mark fishes like me. He's a Christian. He understands how we feel about our clients because he's been a client with us for 4 years. So I'm pretty excited about that. He's an old guy like me. He's retired. He has 15 years being a captain, but he was also in the corporate world. So he brings some stuff to our business from the perspective of growth, how to handle growth. We also have another boy. Mark actually came to us and approached us about that. And we have another young man who works for FWC, who was referred to us by by a couple families we know that asked us to kind of just take part. And he has his captain's license, has a boat, and he's mating for us, and we're kind of mentoring him and trying to help him along. He'll be helping us this year. And then we have got a list of captains that we have been on the boat or will have been on the boat that we're making recommendations to when that comes up. And really, that's a lot of Hannah's job. And, it's taken a lot of her time, but we're working through that. Her main job is to make our clients happy and serve them any way she can. I guess, a couple of years ago, we just started opening up our townhouse at the Sands, which is a 3-bedroom. It's around 1,700 square feet, 2-bath with it has a full kitchen. And you can pull underneath it. It's 1 story, but it's 12 feet off the ground. So we started opening that up only to clients, only to people we know renting it, because we felt like we wanted to try to do more of a package deal and a better, just improve the experience. And we went on beyond that. We have been offering packed lunches in our meals. And that lady began preparing meals for our clients at that unit. So, you get off the water, she has a meal there ready to go, keeps you from having to go out to a restaurant, especially with all the COVID stuff going on. Really, we want to gear ourselves more toward, just top end and service and trying to help clients. And that's why we have the newsletter. That's why we're taking these extra steps. So this year we're renting the unit. Hannah handles the calendar on that. We charge $125 a night for a 3-bedroom. And then the cleaning fee is $70. If we rent that unit for more than 7 days, for 7 days or more, we drop it to $100 a night in the cleaning fee. So, we try to keep it reasonable, but we're not advertising it. It's people we know and we trust, that kind of deal there. Like I said, the pack lunches, we have those available. We try to do that. We have some clients that fly in, they don't feel like it. And I'll have to tell you, Miss Donna's been doing that for us. She actually makes my favorite cake in the world. It is a homemade lunch. The bread is homemade. Everything is homemade. And there's usually cupcakes, there's sides, there's snacks. And man, she delivers it to the boat. She picks it up the next day. She does a wonderful job of keeping up with food allergies and little things like that. So man, we have been very excited about that. And that's worked very good for us, and it's kind of growing. These cakes, if you ever come to the area, she makes a smaller one for 20. I think the bigger one's $30. But I'm telling you, clients that have them, they buy them from her. And like when they get off the boat, some of these guys that fly in and fly out, they'll actually take a cake home to their wife. Hey, they'll let you go fishing if you take them a cake. Trust me, guys. One more thing, just to talk about these two captains. We really got a real intense plan, and we're going to be meeting with them, and we're going to be fishing with them a lot, just kind of bringing them through. But we're also looking at some package deals where we can put you in the motel room, fish you for a certain number of days doing different things. We want to do that a little, work that out some. One more thing too is we have a newsletter, and I gave Logan the link to that newsletter. That's just a good way to keep up with us. In the past, we've kind of learned through this process how many people open it and who it serves. But really, we've talked about we're going to change that some. And what's happening is we don't care about selling more charters. Thank goodness for our clients and the reviews we've gotten. We've got plenty of business, and it's going well. But we want to use that newsletter to reach out and serve our clients from the aspect of what's going on with our business, cool things to see in the area, places to stay, interesting things. And that's the direction we're going to go out with that. Every once in a while, we're going to pop something out there about availability. Every once in a while, we're going to try and do a contest of some sort and keep it interesting. But I know I get lots of newsletters in my mailbox, and I don't want to sell you anything. If you want to come fish with us, the relationship is more important to me. And whether you fish with us or not, if we can do anything for you, that's what Hannah and I are here for. We'll tell you where to fish or where to stay or whatever. We don't receive anything on any of that. My email, I provided that to Logan. That's on the website as well. Our website is fccharters.com. You can see about our boat there. You can ask questions there. We don't post our calendar online. And y'all traditionally come in May, and like May is really jamming up for me. If you do come up with a possible time, I'm saying, if possible, if you have a date, just let me know and I'll save it for you. If you don't come, we'll reschedule, or if you don't come, I'll take a day off. I'm okay with that. Or we'll be able to get somebody else in there. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram at FC Charters is how you find us, FC Charters. You can find us on TripAdvisor through that as well, and Google. And I want to thank those of you who've given us reviews, because really that's huge that we can actually go and somebody can come and see us and we can get that kind of information. Also, the club itself has shared information that we've sent out there about what's happening. And I thank the club for that. I said last year, and I'll make that offer again this year. If the club comes, we want to accommodate the club, and I would like to host the club there at my unit with regards to a meal and just sit down. A lot of times I'm trying to get ready for the next day, and I don't get to spend the time that I want to with clients, just socializing. And I'm hoping that with these new captains, I'm going to be able to do that some. So that's an option too. I want to say something, and this is a shameless pitch. My son has a podcast called The Captain's Collective. That started when we were kind of starting this business, about all these captains out there with all this knowledge, and some of them were dying, getting out of the game, and they really had interesting stories, and we love what we do. So this podcast started, and it's sponsored by Orvis, Hells Bay, and Skinny Water Culture. And he's got a lot of projects going on this next year, and he's kind of, he's real involved in our business as well. Of course, his wife works for us, and he does a lot of photography for us, and just different things that we have coming up in the future. He's involved with that. But you can hear about other captains. Some of the captains, I've actually referred some of your club members to Jay Carson and to Jimmy Long in Homosassa tarpon springing and tarpon fishing. Jay Carson, and he's there in Keaton Beach. Both those guys are on the podcast. So when you if you go there and listen to it, I listen to it a lot. I've kind of transferred over to podcast. I don't watch TV much, but going to the boat ramp and rigging for the next day and coming home from the boat ramp, I can learn a lot from a podcast. So that kind of helps me out. Look, if there's anything we can do for you, I want to entertain questions if you have them. And if there's anything we can do, just let me or Hannah know, and we'll be glad to work with you. I want to tell you too, I'm going to suggest to Logan another captain that's just to the east of us that a couple of y'all have fished with, and that's Jay Carson, and that you might want to get him on. Jay's a teacher over there, and he really has an interesting sight fishing redfish fishery. And he recently got a new 2015 beaver tail Vengeance that draws 7 inches, and hunters fished on it. I haven't got on it yet, but it's very comfortable. But we've sent clients over there who have seen hundreds of redfish tailing. So, he'd be a good guy to talk to about sight fishing redfish. But Logan, I'm gonna come back to you, and if there's some kind of questions, I don't know about hand raising and all that stuff, I'd be glad to answer any questions y'all might have for me.